Thanks for watching Fox 35 News Plus. We are going to take you now to Osceola County, where Sheriff Marcos Lopez is giving an update on a homicide case. We will listen in right now.
I'm Sheriff Lopez with the Osceola County Sheriff's. I'm here to update the public on a recent shooting that occurred in St. Cloud over the weekend. During the afternoon on Saturday, June 8, 2024, deputies responded to 2460 Bronco Drive in St. Cloud, Florida, after receiving reports that a man by the name of Joseph Beck had been shot in his vehicle. This vehicle was parked in the driveway of the residence at the time of the shooting. Members from the Osceola County Sheriff's Office promptly responded and performed life-saving measures on the victim in an attempt to save Joseph's life. Deputies then ensured that Joseph was taken to a nearby hospital, where he was unfortunately declared deceased. Meanwhile, it was learned early on from 911 calls that the shooter had immediately ran away from the scene and fled into the wooded area behind the residence. As deputies investigated this crime, they discovered a home surveillance camera that had captured the shooting on video. The video clearly showed the suspect, later identified as Joshua Miller, walk up to the victim's parked car. As you hear Mr. Miller yelling to the victim, "Where's my pool pump?" Mr. Miller then kicks the driver's side door, opens the door, and begins using the end of his gun to repeatedly strike the victim in the head. During one of those initial strikes, you hear the gun go off, and you can see Mr. Miller quickly running away from the scene. Deputies looked for Mr. Miller throughout the late hours on Saturday night. We put out a written press release with photos to notify the public. We actually ended up receiving tips from the public as the night went on to Mr. Miller's location. I'm pleased to say that on Sunday at the early morning hours, we have successfully apprehended Mr. Joshua Miller without incident. Mr. Miller has been arrested on a warrant for the charge of felony murder with a firearm and burglary of a conveyance with a battery. Following the arrest, Mr. Miller did confess to the crimes charged. I also want to especially thank the members of the Osceola County Sheriff's Office who, worked tirelessly, following all leads and investigating this. It was a really hot day, and they didn't miss a click. They took in all the tips, and which helped us lead to his arrest and successfully get the search warrant. And the public, we rely a lot on the public tips. And in this case, the public was just amazing. And it just goes to show how our community helps us at times, providing us with crucial information to put these type of people in jail. And I'm going to say it in Spanish. ¿Cuánto es tú nada más? En el sábado, 8/20/24, los oficiales respondieron a 2460 Bronco Drive en San Cloud en referencia a un tiroteo. La víctima, Joshua Beck, lo habían tiroteado en el carro. Cuando los oficiales llegaron, empezaron a tratar de salvarle la vida al individuo que recibió la bala. También la llamada que entraron por 911 avisaron que el sospechoso, que fue identificado como Joshua Miller, se fue corriendo en el monte. Hay un video que enseña el sospechoso Joshua Miller ir a donde el carro, empezar a preguntarle dónde está mi pool pump, una pompa de la piscina. Discute con él y después le abre la puerta y empieza a darle con un par de cantazos con la pistola. Y cuando le da uno de esos cantazos, la arma de fuego dispara. Y después tú lo ves a él, Mr. Miller, corriendo de la escena. Nosotros lo buscamos y hay mucha gente que llamaron con información en el aspecto donde estaba el individuo escondido. Y después que hicimos la orden de arresto, todo, y confirmaron el local donde él estaba, en San Cloud, por la mañana del domingo. Fuimos a la casa y, como siempre hacemos, le tumbamos la puerta con el equipo de SWAT y lo sacamos y lo arrestamos. Este individuo confesó durante la entrevista que él sí le disparó al individuo. Ahora también le quiero dar gracias a todos los oficiales envueltos que trabajaron muy fuerte ese día. Hacía mucho calor, yo también estaba allá afuera y te lo digo, estos calores tan fuertes, pero ellos siguen fielmente a hacer su trabajo hasta que este tipo fue arrestado. Y también el público, mucha gente llamaron con información y nos dejaron saber a dónde él estaba, y cuando eso se confirmó, con la orden de arresto fuimos a la casa y lo arrestamos. Now I will take some questions in English.
Sheriff, you said it was a fight over, or he was asking for a pool pump. Can you kind of give us more details on what that fight was over? Was did he have something that the other person owned, or did he steal it from him?
That I don't have the details, but there was an argument over a pool pump. What really detailed involvement, because it was just them two during the incident, and that's when the shooting occurred. So I didn't have a lot of those details here, but it was over a pool pump.
Is that something that you were able to hear in surveillance video, or how did it come down to it?
In the video, you hear a gunshot during one of the times when he's pistol whipping him.
Do you believe that when he was pistol whipping him, that the gun accidentally went off and he was kind of surprised, that's why he took off?
Well, that's not for me to decide. There's a lot of different possibilities that could have happened during this incident. But, the moral of the story is don't pistol whip somebody. This isn't a mobster movie or Grand Theft Auto or a video game. This is real life. And if you don't know how to properly handle a firearm, you shouldn't be holding one, especially beating someone with it, because in this case, now he's facing murder.
Sheriff, we'd heard that the two were pretty good friends. Are you able to confirm that?
They are acquaintances. I don't know to the extent of their friendship, but they're not related, is what I found out.
And you said he confessed?
Yes, he talked about the incident and how he was doing what he did, and the gun went off.
Where does the burglary charge come in?
Well, when you open a vehicle door and someone's in a car, that's pretty much the burglary charge. It's an occupied car. You can't do that.
Did it seem like Beck was trying to get away or reverse or trying to get away from the situation?
I don't have the details of that, but in the video you can clearly see what happened. And then as soon as the gun goes off, Mr. Miller takes off running into the wooded area.
Was anyone around to witness it or just those cameras?
Just the cameras, and it's a very good video.
Talk to us about the importance of people having cameras and, this being a big attribute to being able to button this one up.
Yeah, no, it's really important. A lot of people have Ring cameras and cell phone cameras and all kinds of cameras, and as technology gets better, the camera in video surveillance is going to get better. You can hear, and it's not like they had a microphone right there. It's just the video surveillance on that residence is very good. So, if you're a homeowner, I think looking at a lot of the things that lately with technology get solved, I think it's a good investment, especially if it's monitored professionally or even monitored by yourself. A lot of people can monitor them from their cell phones.
Miller was found at a different home.
He was found in a home in St. Cloud through tips, and that's where we led. We're just not going to give up that information right now.
Got it.
Is Mr. Miller known to the sheriff's office?
I'm sorry?
Is Mr. Miller known to the sheriff's office?
Yes, he has a criminal history, pretty extensive. I don't have the details of that, but I'm sure they can get it for you. ¿Quiere una en español?
Hasta el sol de hoy, ¿cómo van viendo este tipo de crimen en Osceola? ¿Hay algún tipo de numeración?
Tú sabes que este año, por ahora, gracias a Dios, hemos visto los asesinatos muy bajitos. Este es el cuarto este año. Los policías están haciendo un tremendo trabajo y los crímenes de esa naturaleza hemos visto un bajón y vamos a seguir dándole duro, pues eso es nuestro trabajo para proteger a la comunidad.
Sheriff, could we get that one in English as well, please?
I let them know that our violent crimes, like murder, are down. This is our fourth one this year. So it's a good thing because this is what we focus on, violent crimes, to make sure we maintain the quality of life for every resident here, to be at peace and be able to go around and live and your property values climb. A lot of the new tactics that we've implemented are directly helping this. We're going to continue to keep a violent crime down. We see our neighboring agency, violent crime is going through the roof. We have a zero tolerance on crime, and we just attack it and attack it and attack it. That's why we put it on video. We show these things so that people can see who is your criminal, who is your burglar, who's your murderer, who's your rapist, who's your predator. So you can keep a good eye on him, make sure he doesn't come around your house or your neighborhood, and hopefully they leave and go somewhere else or go to prison for a very long time.
You may not have a number off the top of your head, but you said crime is down. Do you have
I don't have the exact, but violent crime is down this year, for sure. I mean, you average sometimes it's 2 murders a month or 1 a month, and then we're already into June, and this is our fourth murder. It's really, we're starting off with a good year. And summer's here, and I don't have any wood, but hopefully we'll continue to maintain those numbers low.
Sheriff, he had his initial appearance today where he's being held, there was decided to be held without bond due to probable cause. What do you hope, happens with these charges and his fate?
Well, right now we've seen our state attorney putting out some pretty good information on people getting some time for committing crimes. So I think this case, we worked with the state attorney's office, and I do believe that it's a solid case, especially the video evidence. You can't hide from that. And he'll get what he deserves. He's facing 2 life sentences. You got a guy who died who had 3 children. You know, this completely destroys families. People have to understand that when you commit a crime, there's consequences. In the state of Florida, we're really tough on crime. Central Florida, Osceola County, we want to continue to do so. We want people to get that message. Anything else?
Is the video we're going to be getting after the surveillance video or
Wait,
the
I think you're going to get this. I don't think they're going to access to the murder video yet. Not yet. Because that has to go to the case state. Okay? That's it. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, you have been watching a news conference from Osceola County Sheriff Marcos Lopez as he gave details on a homicide investigation there in Osceola County. So what we know is that this incident happened on Saturday on Bronco Drive in St. Cloud. The victim has been identified as 29-year-old Joseph Beck. We are told he was shot inside his car in his driveway. The suspect was 29-year-old Joshua Miller. Now, Miller was arrested yesterday. This is a photo from the Osceola County Sheriff's Office showing his arrest, and then you see his booking photo. Some video from the scene. So the sheriff said today, there is your victim, Joseph Beck, 29 years old, a father of 3. We talked to his ex-wife yesterday, saying they are still trying to process what happened. She said that Beck and Miller knew each other. They worked together. And the sheriff said today that this was an argument over a pool pump that turned into a homicide. So the sheriff said today that video from a home surveillance camera shows Miller walking up to Beck inside his car, saying, "Where is my pool pump?" The sheriff says at that point that Miller assaults Beck with his weapon, pistol whipping him, he said, and then the gun went off. At that point, the sheriff says that the suspect ran off into the woods, and then he was not found until the next day. Now, the sheriff's office had released images of this suspect to try to get information, and the sheriff said that tips from the public did help find him. So that arrest made yesterday. That suspect now facing 2 life sentences, the sheriff said, and also talking about the importance of surveillance video and cameras, doorbell cameras, those kinds of things that really helped them in this case. Now, that video has not been released, and the sheriff said will not be released at this point. I believe there's some steps that have to be taken before that will be done. So we have not seen that video, but the sheriff did describe it in that news conference this afternoon, just a few minutes ago. That is what we know right now. We will have more coverage coming up at 4:30 on Fox Orlando Live, and then again on Fox 35 News at 5 and 6. So keep it right here. Thanks for watching us on Fox 35 News Plus. I am Garrett Weimer. You're watching us on fox35orlando.com, the Fox 35 News app, and on Fox Local.